Alright, howdy ho folks. Multiversal Medium here for another episode of Dread Delusion. Last time we left off, we discussed the meaning of life, the universe, everything. And came up with the moral ambiguity of harvesting flesh from a sentient creature that those harvesting it cannot comprehend is sentient. This episode, honestly, I feel bad just leaving this dude to his own devices, slowly getting his flesh ripped off, only for it to grow back, you know? Yeah, I really do. I feel like I kind of need to handle this subquest right now, so I guess that's what we're doing. Magotson. When he turns to you, you can see his eyes are obscured by two large golden coins. He lifts one of them and appraises you swiftly before dropping it back into place. Ah, yeah, going the whole coin for the ferryman and all that. Old culture of Greek, who's a what's it. Gotta pay the ferryman and all that. You'll get many like yourself around here, life lubber. Can't remember the last time I saw a person with their own nose. You guys like switch noses? Do you use prosthetics? Does one of you guys outright have a Groucho nose? Because I am, honestly, I'm waiting for the day for one of you guys just to have a Groucho nose with a mustache and everything. He taps his own hollowed out nostrils. An earthworm squirms within. How do I know that? How did him tapping his nostril make me aware there's an earthworm in it? Did it come out of it? Oh, well, whatever. What are you doing here? Or can't say I'm enjoying having a nose right now, or what are you doing here? Why, I'm tending to the flesh farm, of course. Someone got to. All this flesh ain't going to look after itself. I feel like with all those eyes it can. So, who are ya? Name's Magotson. Used to be called something different back when I was a breather, of course. Forgotten what it was exactly. During the wars, I didn't have a name at all. Was just a walking bag of hunger and spite. Then, 200 years ago, I became a flesh farmer. Suddenly I needed a name again. Magotson sprung to mind. On account of all the little wrigglers I got hatched in my skin. How does that work? So, like, those of you that don't know, like, flies lay their eggs in dead flesh. Actually a form of removing necrotic tissue or dead tissue from a patient. Sometimes they will put maggots on the wound for the maggots to consume the dead flesh and technically clean it. So yes, I get the fact that these dudes are rotting corpses, but these maggots had to be eating something. Since the maggots are eating something, they have to be leaving holes, in a sense. Which, after several centuries of that, it wouldn't even take centuries, there shouldn't be anything left of these guys. So it begs the question, how are they getting flesh again? You'd assume they'd be, like, growing it? But it doesn't exactly work, because, like, growing new tissue is just something kind of related to living. So all I can imagine is the Endless are technically constantly being reconstituted from their wounds in a weird way via this pact with that god or whatever. Like, they're literally in a weird cipher spell of coming back in a weird way. Not perfect, but their flesh is low-key re-knitting very slowly. Which begs the question where the line is of how that works. Because as we saw, there's urns or whatever with ashes of Endless that obviously were not able to come back. And the fact that I still feel bad about it, the individual we saw in the first mausoleum was eaten by a worm. He technically died. And it's even sadder because technically that was a true death for him as an Endless. He's dead. But his death was so traumatic, he became a ghost. Which I'm pretty certain that's what causes ghosts in the universe, is traumatic deaths. So he kind of gotten out to undeath and was forced back into it. That poor dude. Really, that poor dude. So, what is the line of them, like, kind of, sorta coming back? Or are they replacing body parts with other corpses? And how does that intermingle with their current body parts? I know they have a desire for like living flesh or whatever, but how does their, let's say, just overall eating affect their constitution, basically? Do Endless need to pass anything? Or is it just like partaking of living energy in a sense? As it rots in their stomach, gives them the means to regrow rotted parts. I'm so curious about their physiology, basically. Why are you wearing those coins over your eyes? To pay the ferryman, of course, when my time comes. Yeah, it was pure Greek mythology. I think it's Charon, Karen, whatever. Cross the river Styx. Okay. Did you say this was a flesh farm? Vital work, mate. It's vital work. Without the flesh farms, we'd be back in the bad old days. Relying on life essence, stolen from the living. All that is a relic of the past now. Honestly, calling it life essence just reminds me of Jiangxi from like Chinese mythology. And they're basically like one of the most comedic monsters you may ever come across in any mythology. If you ever come across a obscenely stiff corpse that hops at you because it's so stiff with its arms directly hanging out, just remember, bring up a mirror and it will be scared away. Oh, it's not like the usual mirrors where it's like silver or whatever, and that's why the vampire myth about mirrors, because silver repels evil. No, Jiangxi are not okay with what they look like after becoming undead, so they will flee from their own reflection. So just carry a pocket mirror, you're fine. If you want to keep a Jiangxi dead, you have to fry them in oil. By the way, this is China's version of vampires. And yeah, they eat life essence from the living. It's not exactly life essence. I think it's like, I don't know which one it is, but like, so everyone kind of knows the yin yang symbol. Yin energy and yang energy are considered in some mythologies, and I'm butchering this because it's a pure Cliff Notes version. But one of them is considered a very cold energy and kind of like the energy of death. And the other one's a warmer energy and kind of the energy of life. And Jiangxi take the warmer energy from their victims. And that's a very butchered version of that monster's mythos. Moving on. What do you actually do here? Is there anything about working on the flesh farms that you dislike? Actually, I have other questions. So, what do you actually do here? Most important bloody job in the whole bloody kingdom. Not that you'd know it by the pay. I tend the flesh. It's all alive, you see, but mindless. I hose it down, conduct the feeding tubes thrice a day, snip off weird growths, comb it for parasites. It's not glamorous work, to be sure, but without it, we'd be out there in our warships again, killing you living folk, and I've done enough killing in my time. It's fascinating because, like, arguably, as it stands with this whole moral dilemma about the amount of flesh technically being sentient at this point, the way of all flesh, as I believe its name was, cannot exist without their help. If we suddenly say it's immoral to keep eating it, stop it, if they stop taking care of it, it just dies. It cannot feed itself, it cannot wash itself, it will grow growths that are arguably teratomas and aggressive and harmful to the mass that it is, as well as it has various parasites that will harm it. The way of all flesh technically is in a symbiotic relationship right now. Painful as it may be, in the fact that it's from two sentient beings, it is in a symbiotic relationship. If it isn't constantly cared for by these dudes who are farming it, it will die. At least I'm assuming. I'd assume it needs things to eat to stay alive, as well as to be constantly cleansed because it's mounds of flesh. Okay. Is there anything about working on the flesh farms that you dislike? Well, most worshippers of the ferrymen have gone to live in the mausoleums now. I'd have joined them in a heartbeat, but my work here is too important. Shame, though. I had other questions? Do you have to deal with attacks by catacomb worms? I'm wondering if the catacomb worms, whatever, are actually just those dragons we keep seeing in the distance. Because that spelling is equivalent to like a subspecies of dragon, basically. When you say the final two words, Magotson twitches so violently that a golden coin falls from his eye. He snatches it back up hastily. Here, don't go saying their name too loudly, breather. My mate, Reg, says they can hear their name across 100 miles. They'll show up just to spite you. I find it hilarious that a great deal of undead in this, like, setting and in this society of undead are just superstitious. It's hilarious. Why have I not heard about superstitious undead more so before this? This is just funny. Okay, I think I get it. Sure, anything else you want to know? Can I ask you some questions? Ask away, life lover. Who's this, ferryman person? The ferryman, mate. Kind shepherd who will guide the endless to the afterlife when we finally expire. Never heard of him? Can't say that I have, or other endless have mentioned him. Other endless have mentioned him. Of course they have. No other god will listen to us, you see, on account of us outstaying our welcome on this mortal coil. But the ferryman forgives us for our transgressions. He'll take us down the quiet river when no one else will, and for only a minor price. This is fascinating. Well, like, it's not so fascinating. Like, obviously this is a reference to the River Styx myth in Greek mythology. But what's fascinating about it is this in the overall setting of Dread Delusion. Because when we know gods do exist in various forms, the fact that apparently this god does listen to the Endless means they probably outright interacted with this god, for one. Two, it's surprising other gods won't interact with them as a whole, which means something about them goes against a majority of other gods, which we may know because we got hints to something, like I want to say 2 episodes ago, about something along those lines. The ferryman may legit be the god that caused the Endless to exist, if we look at it that way. Obviously, there's not enough info yet, but the fact the other gods will not interact with the Endless may be due to the effect that they're all technically in a pact with another god right now. They're all a part of a bargain, contract, what have you. This eternal life. And a god that's still willing to work with them would probably only be a god who's a part of that contract as well. Maybe it's not the god that set him up with the contract. Maybe it's a lesser god that works for that god. Or maybe it is the god. But there's a solid chance if this ferryman is legit a divinity, it may be the one that made the Endless at the end of the day. So, yeah, there's that possibility that the Endless, after several centuries, are now worshipping the one that made them this way. And the one that made them this way was so forgotten that pre-World Rend, they could be considered from the darkest corners. Fascinating. The coins on his eyes seemed to glint in the light for a moment. If the ferryman is so forgiving, why does he extract a price? Why do worshippers of the ferryman live in the mausoleums? What do you think will happen if you die without the coins? Why do worshippers of the ferryman live in the mausoleums? It's a show of devotion, mate. We know we ought to be dead in the eyes of the gods. So if we act dead by lying in tombs and being as quiet as we can, the ferryman is more likely to look favorably on us when our time finally comes. The priests give special dispensations to flesh farmers like me. We don't need to stay in the tombs. They know that someone needs to feed them life energy, or they'd be dead for real. Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, so there's a lot of questions from this one line of dialogue. I'm sorry that I keep pausing just talking to people. I got into a weird habit because of Harvestella. I'm sorry. But I like going down these routes, and it's a lot funner in this game than Harvestella, although I do get a lot of joy from it in that game. So it's not Wiccans who are helping with the worship of the ferryman, which that's how we usually see any interactions of divinity whatsoever, is Wiccans, not priests. I think this may be one of the first times we've heard the term priest, actually. Special dispensations to flesh farmers like you. As far as we're aware, in the info we've gotten through other people, there are only 2 flesh farmers, you and the person who made the will of all flesh or whatever. There's 2, and I think it's only ever been 2. So that's a weird sentence as a whole. The very odd bit is the last sentence. If the priests and the other Endless aren't fed life energy, they'd be dead for real. Yet we're talking about a religion that wants death as a whole? So why would that A, be a bad thing? B, This is the first time I'm hearing about the fact that if they don't eat, they just die. I thought they just went mindless. And, honestly, it feels weird and counterintuitive for priests of a religious order that seeks death to demand life energy to keep living in a weird way. You've killed people? Or, okay, I think I get it. You've killed people? Oh yeah, mate. Loads. You won't find an endless who hasn't killed a few mortals. Back in the old days, it was the only way we could survive. Gosh, I was really hoping she'd go more into detail with all of that, because that one bit of dialogue brought into question so many aspects of the Endless, and maybe he just doesn't know. Well, you feel like the dude manning the farm that kind of sustains the entire species to know? I mean, he's not the one behind the will of all flesh, but the dude's been working on it since it's been around, technically. If the ferryman is so forgiving, why does he extract a price? We have to pay the toll, mate. We've lived too long. We've stolen our extra years, hoarded them like jealous misers, and now payment is due. A couple gold coins is a bargain, considering. Oh, what do you think will happen if you die without the coins? There's an endless nothing awaiting us, mate. It won't be cold. It won't be dark. It'll just be absence. No other gods want the endless. Without the ferryman's mercy, our souls will be snuffed out like blown candles. This is another bit of dialogue that's just fascinating. It brings to question the fact that the other gods are collecting souls, technically. Does that mean if I kill the worshipper of Pagath, they enter a heaven of Pagath's will? Possibly? Is it like Elder Scrolls nonsense, where if you're a Daedra worshipper, you'll be sent to the Daedric realm of that Daedric prince or whatever? It seems weird. This is the first time we're hearing anything about afterlives. Actually, it's really odd. Especially in a society like when we were introduced to this game with the Apostatic Union outlawing all worship. They probably are perfectly fine with the idea of death just being nothingness. Which honestly, I'm not against that idea either. It's nihilistic in nature to a degree, but it's also freeing in another. And I'm honestly surprised the Endless aren't okay with it either, considering how nihilistic and numb they are to everything relating to existence. I can understand a society wanting to hold on to hope as a whole, especially one as hopeless as the Endless, but with how I've interacted with the majority of them, it feels like they'd be fine entering a void of nothingness, and that's all it would be. A majority of them didn't want to be immortal in a sense, as far as I'm aware. I doubt all the Endless are actually people who joined in with the Hooded King or whatever. So, yeah, I think I get it. Right, you got any more questions? What do you think of the Queen of Silver? Can't say I ever met her match. She keeps herself to herself. She does. Stays in the Castle of Ribs doing whatever queens do. Lounging about, getting wafted by servants with big fans, probably. This dude's got some great character, he really do. I like him a lot. What do you know about the entombed one? Well, he's entombed. I know that much for sure. Care to elaborate? Is that it? Really helpful, thanks. Care to elaborate? Listen, whatever's down there, I don't want to piss it off by speculating about its nature. It's huge, and it's powerful. Hopefully Penitentha or the Queen of Silver Someone can send it back to sleep. And if it does wake up, well, I'll worry about it then. That's fair, dude. Sure, anything else you want to know? Did you know that your flesh farm has become self-aware? That's funny, mate. You're a riot. I'm serious. The flesh mass has been communicating to me telepathically. It spoke to me, Maggot-san. His voice was like thunder. I'm serious. The flesh mass has been communicating to me telepathically. What? Are you being serious? Of course I am, you idiot. Or, yes, it wants you to stop feeding on it. Of course I am, you idiot. And what? Did it sing you a song? Did it whisper sweet nothings in your ear? It's been self-aware for decades, but only the living can hear it. Listen, mate, this still sounds like a joke to me. But if you're serious, go talk to Penitent Thaw. She created the flesh farms in the first place. She's clever, she'll know what to do. Penitent Thaw is in her sanctum, just above us, up there. Thanks, Maggot-son. Go talk to Thaw, mate. I don't want to say you should stop feeding on it, because once more, it would be technically... It's such a weird ethics question, because, like, it would technically be sentencing this thing to death if they don't constantly upkeep it. But is it worth staying alive if it's constantly being picked at in agony? Does it want to stay alive in that scenario, I guess, is the question. And if it doesn't want to stay alive, what are its rights to not be alive in a society and country filled with those that share the sentiment but can't outright reach it? Why would it have more rights to that than everyone else in the country that it was born into? Vey. This is too philosophically for me, man. You again, mortal? I presume you have... She sighs. Questions? About those vats of flesh down there. The flesh farms, a fine invention if I do say so myself. Did you know that the flesh farm is becoming self-aware? Interesting. Elaborate. I conducted a lengthy conversation with it inside my head. It can only speak to the living, but it can speak. What level of intelligence are we talking about here? Did it exhibit any unusual traits or particularly alien preferences? I still like her. Even though she may obviously have views on how this quest should go or shouldn't go, she's approaching from a very inquiring mind. She didn't say that's impossible. She made it. She knows it's not technically impossible. And she's curious about how intelligent, what's going on. This is the kind of mindset I would expect from someone heralded as the greatest mage, even if it's by her own words. She's showcased she's great at magic, and she's showcasing right now she wants to know things she doesn't. And this is something she was not expecting and she doesn't know, but she wants to figure it out. It seems to have become obsessed with seeking knowledge somehow. Only that it doesn't want to be used as a food source. It seems to have become obsessed with seeking knowledge somehow. A scholar. Well, that's not too bad. Anything else? It's lonely. Seems remarkably intelligent for a lump of flesh, let's be honest. That's worrying. Listen, mortal. What you're saying should be impossible. But if you're telling the truth, we have a problem. The flesh farms are becoming sentient and don't want to be eaten, then, well, the Endless will no longer have a moral way to sustain themselves. It could mean a return to the bad old ways. I know what you mean. So I don't want to say, what do you mean? And I don't want to just be like, oh no, that must suck. The bad old ways. Before I came along and created the flesh farms, the Endless sustained themselves by waging bloody war on other islands and eating their enemies. It was called the Cadaver Crusades. Ever since they stopped, a few mad old bastards like Lord Ryder have been pushing for them to return. Why would anyone want to go back to that? But surely the Endless have changed since then. Still easier to eat the farmed flesh though, right? Why would anyone want to go back to that? Bloodlust, arrogance, power, take your pick. Honestly, I really like her as a character. I am amazed at how every line of dialogue with her is just like, they really just fleshed her out. But or whatever. What should we do then? Because once more, she accepts it. She understands the implications. She's not outright asking you to hush up about it the second she learns about it. She's discussing like, this is actually really bad. What should we do next? So, most importantly, we need to kill the flesh farms that developed sentience. It might be the only one. There are dozens of flesh farms in the kingdom, buried under the mausoleums, and we don't want this infection to spread to any more of them. But surely it has the right to life. That's murder, or good idea. This is a moral dilemma, and I wish I could get the flesh farms, the will of all flesh's opinion on it. Because outright, if I was able to ask it, right here, right now, would you prefer to constantly be picked at like you currently are, or be put out of your misery? What we'd say, I'd lean towards what it would want in this scenario. So it's hard to say. I'm not against killing it, but I think its opinion should be brought up. But I can't outright say you should keep caring for it because it's no longer technically viable livestock for you. Surely it has a right to life. The lump of inanimate flesh would be doing it a favor. In addition, we need to ensure that Lord Ryder never hears about this. Have you told anyone else? Only Magotson. You fool. You need to go check on him at once. Go. Eve. Oh, Magotson, you here? No, he isn't. Oh, he's dead. Magotson has disappeared. You notice traces of blood on the floor. This could be Lord Ryder's doing. You should visit his estate on the cliffs of southwest Sepulchre. Yeah, that dude. I think I robbed from him. By the way, Way of All Flesh, greetings again, and thank you for coming back. I was getting lonely. I want to ask him if he wants to die. I really do. Obviously, it's not a great way of life, but considering it was born into it and it's all it's known, is it technically a bad way of life for it? Many questions. But I don't think we have any different forms of dialogue. Come back soon. Without you, the silence is deafening. Dude, I don't know if I can handle another really sad F-up this recording session. Like the last time I gave that ghost PTSD flashbacks. Okay, I can't talk to you about Magotson. I guess we're heading that way to Ryder. Okay. Honestly, I understand his desire for war. Well, I don't understand it, but I understand that's his driving force. But let's be honest. Oh, right, I never started the annex. Hold up. Oh, right, I don't have enough freaking jitter seeds. Right. Should go back to my house and just get a few freaking seeds or something. Use advanced time, sleep, whatever. Get enough jitter seeds for that sometime. Anyways, like, I get that it's his driving force, but the fact that the flesh farms in possibly one vat has grown sentience is not viable means to constitute another cadaver war. Because outright, we're talking about a constant, sustainable version of sometimes sentient flesh versus just going to war and maybe not even getting any spoils. It's comparing apples to oranges. It's not going to work out that way, dude. I'm pretty certain it was this dude's, but I'm also pretty certain it's probably around midday, so probably advance time real quick. Yeah, it's midday. Let's come in the morning. Obviously in the privacy of our own home. But for now, let's talk to this dude, Lord Ryder. In days past... Oh wait, you're not Lord Ryder. You worked with Lord Ryder. Okay, but it was... on the outskirts of the town. Is it that, technically? Is it... that area? Oh. I apparently pilfered 3 coins. Let's check our quest dialogue real quick. The ethics of eating flesh. This could be Lord Ryder's doing. You should visit his estate on the cliffs to the southwest. Honestly, it was probably right next to the farm, let's be honest. But, was this... does this dude... I'm going to say the dude who was here trying to get into the shop probably only shows up at noon. I bet you anything. Anyways, let's check our map real quick. We're here. Southwest. Okay, looks like there is a way to get to the loading bit with the bridge or whatever. But we are going to have to head back to the town's entrance. I thought it was going to be what's up here, but apparently it probably is that floating island over there. We're just gonna have to make our way to the back entrance before we can drop the bridge for it. Okay, well, we got our work cut out for us. Gosh, that dude moved quickly. We can just knocking out like Maggots right away. Glad I got all his dialogue before that. I feel bad. Really do. Well, I guess, honestly, an area... Oh gosh, of course you have a bow and arrow. Why did I not expect you to have a bow and arrow? For some reason I was like, ah yes, all these skeleton dudes, I'm perfectly fine. They're on an island. Whatever could they do? Bow and arrow, obviously. That was really dumb of me. Okay, hold up. Get back, get behind a tree. A potion. Alright, get back to it. Okay. Oh, right. I have a power attack? I forgot about that. I 100% like... I feel like I haven't used that at any point in this game. Okay, got him down. Oh, they got a little screechy goo. Cute. Wait, that's not cute. That's meant to be creepy. Anyways, as I was saying, like, I guess it's on point for an area like this for a lot of the quests to be depressing in a sense. Entire area is questioning mortality and morality of death and undeath. Of living to continue when outright you don't want to continue, and the existentialism of it all. So yeah, it's not super surprising. A lot of aspects of this quest, a lot of aspects of this area And a lot of NPCs are a bit of negative Nancy's. In the nicest way possible. Oh, cheddar seed, good. So, curious about that statue. Does that mean there's something hidden in this tree, or... No, it doesn't look it. I'm curious if there's actually just loading pathway somewhere. It's gonna be my guess, which means we're outright gonna equip the leech. Okay, what are we missing? This doesn't have collision, weirdly enough. Okay. Should be something hidden near or far. Ooh, piece of candy. I was expecting like a bridge or something. I'm being perfectly honest. That's there. Wait, hold up. With that? It's that, okay. There's an island that's missing. Interesting. I don't know if that's what it's referencing, but the island... No, it is there. It's just highlighted differently. Okay. Oh, bummer drummer. I thought I was being smart, and it's like, yeah, the entire island's what's hidden. Nope, apparently not. Okay, then. What might it be? The secrets of the statue, indeed. Well, we know they can be a bit further away, too. It's not, like, directly next to it. It's just... There is hidden thing near here. Look for hidden thing. Yes? Good. But maybe more along the lines... Just somewhere we can see the statue from. Maybe even inside of that. Let's take a look from a different angle. I think it just randomly stopped working. There we go. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything like on it. Even below where it's at. I think the reason that's happening, where it's stopping working or whatever, is I'm entering a brief, like, loading zone area. And that's causing it to lose its constant effect. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. We'll check that out again. Slash, go back over there after we talk to this cartographer dude. Because I feel like I'm just missing probably something very obvious. Maybe it's just looking at the tree from the right angle. Because there's not much else on that island, to be honest. Weird. Huh. Yeah, those two islands are visible, so it's not that. Alright, so what's up? The scholar has one eye pressed to her looking glass. Her face crumpled in a grimace. What a wretched place, eh? Even the trees barely cling to life. I cannot fathom why I was sent here, of all places, to make this damned map. This danged map. Why must we chart these isles? Does the Academy plan to start grave digging? There's naught else to do. About these cipher charts I'm making. Oh, so you guys just all know I'm doing this for you guys? Okay, got it. I have cipher charts to hand in, I guess. Got 40 coins. Sounds good enough to me. I was wondering if she'd have any unique dialogue, but apparently not. Okay. Let's head back over here. Pop another mana potion. I got enough of them. Honestly, like, I'm curious how difficult this game is on hard mode. Because the game honestly gives you a lot of drops. It's really nice in that regard. I do appreciate it. But then you get a scenario like all these potions I have right now. It's like, gosh, am I ever actually going to go through them all? Is there anything on this tree from different angles? Not really, from the looks of it. Anything at any other place that I can look at? Yeah, honestly, I'm not seeing anything that can constitute being quote-unquote hidden, especially with the true eye. I mean, the most hidden thing was the back of this tree or whatever, which we already know this model of tree. Wait, is it something with that? Nope. Pop one of these. Let's switch over to the telescope. Tree, I know Ghosty Girl's there somewhere. Not seeing anything. Not exactly seeing anything there either. I like the fact that I can just walk through this one. Just doesn't have collision. That one just looks like another mausoleum. I don't know how we get there, but let's put on True Eye again. Not seeing anything over there. Maybe just be an airship. Not seeing anything over here either. I'm not seeing anything amongst this wall, or any wall for that matter. And it's nothing there? Yeah, weird. I have zero clue. Giant nautilus in the sky. Do you hold the secrets I seek? What truths do you know that I do not? Probably anything and everything. Okay. Yeah, let's just put that off for a different day. I may figure it out. I may not. I'm not the solver of all life's mysteries. All I know is life has no meaning, man. Ooh. Ooh. Shaky, shaky. Let's see. Obviously gotta check beyond the waterfall. You know, video game classic and all that. Ooh, Iberian Ruin? Oh, okay. About to say, the girders or whatever make me think of the Iberians. It's like, yeah, apparently. Apparently, that is on par. Basically on point. Okay, well. Let's make our way. I believe this road is... Gosh, that dude is really close. Can I actually visit that dude? He looks a lot closer than I think I've ever seen. That way to the Duchess's Manor. Okay, I think we follow this road, though. It will get us to, that little island that is connected to the main town. So, this way. Rider Estate, yep. Mausoleum 7. Okay, okay. Cool. Funky, fresh. Funky, 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 funky. Oopsie daisy. And I'm so curious about this curse or whatever that's technically harming or just affecting all the Endless. Because, like, is it technically the curse that's also affecting the wildlife and the flora as well, the flora and the fauna? Or is it... do not need that. Is it the fact that the Endless exist here? Oh, is that a teleport thing? Oh, heck yeah, man. Sorry, buddy. You gotta go down. Finally found a teleport. Is it the fact that the Endless exist here and thus their rot is seeping through the entire area, causing the trees and various wildlife to slowly become like them? Are they technically like a disease slowly affecting the area they exist within? Then we, I don't know if you guys have noticed, and like, yeah, it's on point for Undead Race. I talked about it first episode that we got here, but there is a metric crap ton of like graves, and we were told early on this place used to be idyllic. The air itself was sweet. People loved it here. Yeah, it was pioneering when it comes to a lot of ways, because it was in the Sky Realms. Back when the Sky Realms were a place nobody really wanted to deal with. Not even the Emberians. It was an idyllic island. An idyllic country. Where did these graves come from? Are the graves from... let's see here. Gunship, Hollowtown. Go to Hollowtown. Are the graves from the people from before they became Endless? Are the graves from the Endless's countrymen who they ate in order to survive when they first were turning Endless and their insatiable hunger? Or are the graves actually just Endless who couldn't enter a mausoleum, and they'd rather than live as Endless just go into the dirt, eventually becoming mindless and letting them rot to a point of honestly no return? Are the skeletons we're coming across Endless, or beings brought to life via cipher magic? Yes, we're seeing references of people being able to summon... yeah, grab that. Skeletons via magic and animate them, probably have them attack. Actually, it's just called summoning, it's not called animation. Summoning would mean we're bringing it from one place to another. So that begs the question where we're bringing them from. But are these skeletons raised by Cypher, or are they raised like the Endless through a contract with a god, basically? Meh. I don't have the answers. I really don't. Just a lot of food for thought. You know, usual. I try to keep your guys' brains nice and fed. Try to do my due diligence. Why is this one out of all of them, actually? Okay, anyways. Figured since we're here... oh, I had to teleport to here this entire time from Hollowtown. How did I forget about that? Grab that. Let's just grab a bunch of jitter seed and alchemy ingredients real quick so we can finish up setting up our house in Sepulcher Chister, whatever. Honestly, I don't know how long it takes for one of these to respawn in a sense. Grab that, grab that, grab that. But I do like the fact that it does respawn. How many jitter seed is that actually? No, we technically need a... We might need more. It's 5. Let's just get to 8. And since we're going to be outfitting our garden, there's a solid chance our garden will have jitter seed at that point. So if we need more for outfitting our annex or whatever, we'll at least be able to grab it there. Oh. 2, 3. So 2 more. Yeah, it's just... I don't think I finished the thought process, or maybe I did, but... I'm not surprised at how depressing the Endless Realm is. I really ain't. I dislike it, and I don't think I'll sleep well tonight knowing I gave a freaking ghost PTSD flashbacks for probably the next few centuries, but it's kind of honestly par for the course. I should have expected it going in. Super depressing. Non-fun times. But I do like the fact that they're actually handling it that way. Oh no, the way they're handling the undead in this game still does feel pretty fresh compared to other media with undead. I mean, yeah, it's not the first game, not even close to the first game that's like, hey, we're undead and we don't want to be technically. But it feels like every character I'm talking to there is a proper character. Although basically not alive. I should actually go to sleep real quick. Pop a nap, pop a save, get all these buffs going, and then head back out. Yeah, that'd probably be smart. So, hop in here. Get the barter going. Go to the... Oh yeah, it's upper floor. Go to the library, pop on up. Get the charm going. Down, pop a save. Then head on out. Pop this one. Oh, well, it's still going from when I popped it earlier. Whatever. But yeah, every single character just feels a lot more alive compared to the writing I've been dealing with in a few of the games I've been playing. Not just on my channel, just in general. I'm just really happy with a well-written game. And a well-built game, I guess you could say. World building is nice and solid. And you know what else is solid? This episode, it's been one. But before we call it, I think we're gonna go and fully upgrade our house. So that's just finished. We don't need to worry about it anymore. And then we'll call it an episode after doing a brief little tour. So yeah, let's get the garden going. And let's get this built. So that's going to take a second, but... Yep, looks like this area is going to be the annex, and the garden... apparently doesn't have seeds. So that's upsetting. Let's have a nice little podium. Yeah, podium. Yeah. That's a nice one. We haven't used that one yet. Okay. Let's get this advance time going. Take a proper look-see at how this is going to look. Ooh, fancy. And yeah, it's where I expected it to be. Ooh, nice. You have a crafting area. Nice little fireplace. I do like that our backyard is now only accessible to us, basically. Oh, pretty weirdly open. Felt like I needed a fence at the very least. Okay, let's see what we need to furnish the annex. 2 more jitter seeds. Oy vey. Is the return home spell actually gonna work? Can I do that real quick? Return home. Should be the last place I saved, which should be... Yep, okay. I was really kind of banking on the fact that the garden was going to have a jitter seed plant, and that's on me. It really is. Oh well. We'll be back there in a hop and a skip, so give me a second. I forgot they were there. I was like, what are these tentacle things? It's like, oh yeah, worms. I gave this entire town worms. Forgot about that. Okay, let's get this furnished. All well and good. There we go. Let's take a looky-loo at the annex. Ooh, now isn't that fancy? I do really like that. Looks really nice. Only issue is this one window feels incorrect. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys be living in a house that has a window facing another room in your house. Suppose that window there doesn't feel right either. Yeah, that's obviously... Actually, you know what? Maybe that's just correct for... Let's check the other buildings around here. Do they have windows above their doors? Yeah, that's actually par for the course. Never mind. Yeah, it's just the one window facing one of our rooms. Not for it. Oh well. That all being said, guys, like I said earlier, I think it's been an episode. Fun one at that. A lot of morals and ethics and depressing bits. But even with all that said and done, I think we're gonna call it here. So, until next time, in another episode of Dread Delusion, ciao.